The scene unfolds in the twilight of the Western Roman Empire in 476. The grandeur of Rome, once imposing, now crumbles. The legions, once symbols of power, withdraw, and cities that were once safe become vulnerable. In this chaotic landscape, new Germanic kingdoms begin to emerge like stars in a dark night. The Visigoths and the Franks, among others, take center stage, bringing with them vibrant cultures and traditions that are about to shape a new world. Meanwhile, Christianity spreads like an unquenchable fire, illuminating Europe in times of uncertainty. Monasteries rise like beacons of learning, where devoted monks, by the flickering light of candles, carefully copy manuscripts, preserving knowledge and keeping the flame of wisdom alive. The landscape is marked by rural villages, a testament to the simplicity of life centered on the land. The inhabitants, under the protection of local lords, plow the fields and harvest the fruits of their labor. It is a world in transformation, where new foundations are being laid for medieval society, and the High Middle Ages unfolds, filled with challenges, and at the same time, opportunities for cultural renewal. As this era advances, feudalism begins to take hold. You observe society restructuring around bonds of vassalage. Lords, imposing in their castles, offer protection and land in exchange for the loyalty of their vassals, who in turn commit to providing services. The castles, more than just simple residences, transform into bastions of defense and administrative centers, dominating the landscape. The villages that spread around these fortifications become the backbone of the agrarian economy. The population, with calloused hands, works the land, and agricultural production sustains not only their lives but the entire society. It is a time of political decentralization, where real power often dissolves in the face of local lords' authority. In this vibrant scenario, you notice how feudalism shapes the social and economic structure of the Middle Ages, laying the foundations for the coming centuries. The narrative progresses, and with the end of the 11th century, a new era approaches, the beginning of the Crusades. You can feel the tension in the air as warriors gather, summoned by a fervent call, ready to embark on a journey that will change the course of history. As the transition to the late Middle Ages occurs, you note significant advances in agriculture, such as the use of the heavy plow and crop rotation. These innovative methods transform agricultural production, allowing fields to be cultivated more effectively and sustainably. The land, previously overworked, now breathes, and harvests become more abundant. The peasants, now more experienced and with improved techniques, begin to experiment with new types of grains and legumes. Life in the villages enriches. More food means less hunger and greater food security. Families grow, and communities strengthen, fostering a sense of unity and cooperation. With the increase in production, cities, which are expanding, now become true hubs of commerce and culture. You see the streets filling with merchants and artisans, their vibrant voices echoing in the squares. Fairs become grand events, where products from all corners of the continent converge, and new knowledge circulates like never before. Urban life transforms. Guilds, which were once merely groups of workers, solidify into powerful institutions. They regulate crafts, ensuring quality and protecting the interests of their members. Artisans organize themselves, and you realize how this union grants them voice and influence in the cities. Moreover, the revitalization of trade animates the routes connecting Europe to the East. You sense the beating pulse of a new economy, where currency begins to replace direct exchange, stimulating entrepreneurship and attracting investments. Port cities like Venice and Genoa become centers of exchange, where cultures and ideas intertwine. In this scenario of effervescence, you observe how the late Middle Ages is a period of metamorphosis. The old feudal structures begin to wear down, giving way to a new social order. The power of feudal lords is contested by an emerging bourgeois class, challenging traditions and seeking a place in the world. And so, as agriculture modernizes and trade flourishes, the human spirit renews. You feel you are on the brink of a new era, where the seeds of the Renaissance are about to sprout, promising a future filled with discoveries, creativity, and change. You witness the call for Christian warriors to reclaim the Holy Land. The atmosphere is charged with fervor and expectation as nobles and knights prepare to embark on expeditions that blend religious devotion with political and economic interests. In large groups, they cross seas and face unknown lands, determined to conquer what they believe is their right. The Crusades, like a powerful echo, reverberate through Europe and the Middle East. You see the effects of this mobilization. New trade routes open, bringing exotic spices, luxurious fabrics, and innovative ideas that enrich the European continent. Trade flourishes and cultural interactions intensify, creating a vibrant mosaic of influences. Meanwhile, military orders like the Knights Templar emerge as prominent figures. Combining unparalleled religious fervor with sharp combat skills, they become symbols of bravery and loyalty. The Crusades also promote the strengthening of trade cities, especially in Italy, where commerce becomes a pillar of the economy, uniting diverse cultures under one roof. In this dynamic scenario, you witness how the Crusades leave a lasting legacy, shaping the politics, economy, and culture of the Middle Ages. With the return of the Crusaders, an urban and commercial blossoming unfolds. The cities grow and transform into bustling centers of trade and craftsmanship. You observe the medieval fairs, vibrant and full of life, attracting merchants from all corners, where the exchange of products and ideas becomes a fascinating spectacle. Guilds begin to form, organizing artisans and merchants into associations that regulate crafts and protect common interests. You feel the autonomy of the cities grow as they transform into engines of economic development. Urban life pulsates with energy and innovation. The expanding trade revitalizes ancient trade routes, linking Europe, Asia, and Africa in an interconnected network. The monetary economy gains strength, replacing the direct exchange of goods. You see how this new dynamic facilitates transactions and stimulates entrepreneurship, promoting the emergence of new opportunities. In this vibrant scenario, you notice how the urban and commercial revitalization alters the medieval landscape, paving the way for social and cultural changes that will shape the coming centuries. As you advance into the late Middle Ages, you note significant advances in agriculture. The introduction of the heavy plow and the practice of crop rotation revolutionized production. The fields, now more productive, yield abundant harvests, and food security becomes a new reality for communities. The peasants, with enhanced skills and innovative techniques, begin to experiment with new crops, transforming agriculture into a growth engine. You see life in the villages flourishing, with families thriving and communities united around collective work. As agricultural production expands, cities become increasingly vibrant. They attract people in search of opportunities, and you can sense the pulse of a new era approaching. Urban life intensifies, and art, culture, and knowledge begin to bloom. setting the stage for the great transformation that is to come. The human spirit, driven by innovation and trade, is about to blossom in new and exciting directions. As the centuries unfold, a vibrant renaissance of knowledge begins to take shape in Europe. Universities emerge as beacons of learning in cities like Bologna and Paris, where restless minds gather to debate ideas and challenge the boundaries of thought. Here, scholasticism gains prominence, a methodology that seeks harmony between faith and reason, illuminating the path of knowledge. Meanwhile, Gothic art erupts, transforming the skyline with majestic cathedrals. These buildings, adorned with colorful stained glass that filters sunlight into 1,000 shades, and soaring pointed arches reaching skyward, serve not only as places of worship, but also as symbols of the power and wealth of cities, silent witnesses to an era in transformation. Amidst this cultural and intellectual effervescence, you perceive how the late Middle Ages sets the stage for even deeper transformations, heralding the grand dawn of the Renaissance. But, as in every great narrative, shadows begin to approach. As the late Middle Ages progresses, you encounter the crises that shake Europe in the 14th century. The Black Death emerges as a devastating specter, decimating the population and leaving deep scars on society and the economy. Conflicts also erupt, such as the 100 Years' War between England and France, bringing instability and reshaping the political landscape. Social tensions intensify, and you witness peasant revolts that challenge the established order, clamoring for change. With these crises, feudalism, an institution that seemed unshakable, begins to crumble. Cities emerge with new influence as new ideas and technologies blossom, paving the way for the transition to the modern age. It is a moment of rupture, where new economic and cultural paradigms begin to take shape. In this scenario of profound transformations, you observe the end of the medieval period and the emergence of a new era, marked by innovation and a cultural rebirth that promises to change the course of history. Europe, restless and in motion, is on the verge of entering a new chapter in its grand narrative.